Hello, where's Turtle Ollie?
That's right, we've got Dave and Ollie here reporting out from NPCs of Wildemount, but first we've got to go out and get to Ollie out in the field. Turtle Ollie out in the field, how you doing? Thank you, Turtle Ollie.
What's he doing outside? He was literally... Wait,
He's our reporter in the field! It's gonna rain! That's the weather. Back to you.
I miss Turtle Ollie.
And in sports, people threw balls!
At Turtle Ollie.
Hello and welcome to NPCs of Wildemount reviewing Critical Role 2, episode 45, with myself, Oliver, Dungeon Master, and...
Dave,
coming at
you remember the number of the episode without looking down. That's a rare moment here on the NPCs of Wildemount.
I kind of don't want to say this, but if you look at the tape again, I looked down, you just weren't looking at me when I did it.
You realise I have to edit this,
I don't know how closely you watched.
I don't closely watch it.
Anyway, we need to get I don't know if we have time to fuck around this episode.
Yeah, this was a 5-hour-long episode.
So, in preparation, I have prepared 2 cups of coffee for this.
You realise you're not watching it now.
I'm just addicted to coffee.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it was a very long episode, and you could sum up the episode pretty easily as well, because it was just a lot of bonding with Twiggy.
The guest player!
Yes, the guest player. And then a battle, and then it felt like a bottle episode. Like if you
a
bottle episode where kind of not a lot happens. And
not a lot happens.
Not a lot happens. But it's kind of all kind of contained in a certain spot, and you kind of the end of the episode kind of is where the start kind of was, and it wasn't a lot that happened.
So I think what is best to do is skip over the first little bit and give a little bit of stuff, go quite reasonably in depth in the combat, and then kind of go from there. Because 5.5 hours, I had to watch this one in two blocks. But actually, my favourite combat encounter of season 2, every of the 45 episodes, and even up there with some of the ones from campaign 1.
Wow, that's a big call.
I know, but some of them
involved a dragon though.
He was a dragon.
Yeah, that's a dragon.
A young blue dragon.
Yeah, so let's recap the episode the best we can, because it's not that great. Of us recapping.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
not the episode. The episode was good.
They're on the ship, they're doing some stuff, they're quite happy. Bo has become the first mate of Ford Captain, which is cool.
So
I like that.
She asked Ford to train her to kind of be the first mate.
And it's kind of like a little bro moment where they're like, yeah, bro, let's do this, motherfuckers, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to the Basford Isles to refit and repair the ship. So that's where their destination going.
So Not's in the crow's nest. No, wait, Not should be in the crow's nest, according to Ford, but it's actually in the belly of the ship near the cannons and the gunpowder, making explosive arrows, because isn't that just a great idea, and kind of fails and blows up.
And one thing that is noted during this whole conversation, where they kind of work out which crew are with them and so forth, that Matt does specifically say Vera's burned. So a lot of people thought Vera was a Vantika in disguise when the beheading happened, but it's clear that Vera was actually killed. Yeah. So that rules that out.
Squalls quite a few of the crazy Reddit theories I had to sift through to get to last week's one.
So they go, Bo, Jester, Not, I think that was Bo, Jester, Not, go down the decks, and that's where we find Twiggy.
So essentially we've got like a little bit of...
Deborah Ann Woll.
Yes, Deborah Ann Woll. Wonderful person that you might know. She basically got inspired by Critical Role, as she says, and created her own Dungeons & Dragons thing, so you might know her already from that.
Well, it's not come out yet. They were advertising on the
So
YouTube.
you probably won't know it from
No, it's coming out.
I didn't know that. I thought it was a thing. This is
they kept on playing the ad on the Twitch
That's
show.
why I thought it was already a thing.
This is their kind of announcement on Geek and Sundry.
We should check that out then.
Yeah, when it comes out.
We can start another review show.
We can barely hold this one together.
I can barely hold my form together, but Adams want to participate.
One thing to note about how she plays the character before we dive too much into the story is that she definitely plays it like a DM. Okay, she over-describes... You notice that when a DM plays a character, they very over-describe everything that's happening. Yeah. Instead of a normal PC, which kind of just say, I do this, and then a DM fills it in the blanks. Yeah. She was very filling in the blanks. Yeah,
you can see she was born from a storytelling narrative, and knew the ins and outs of DMing very well, and could kind of scene paint quite geniusly, even in her little moments. She also had something that Matt commented on, something that I certainly noticed, which was when she was using like verbal or somatic components for a spell, She had like full-on unique ways of casting these spells, which
She's really thought about it.
Is really clever. I like that because remember in our campaign, people had different you kind of healed wounds by like sealing a wound shut.
Yeah.
And some of the others had like a more slow fading light that would glow.
And also had it on your sister. I like to mention that whenever we can. Because it makes you uncomfortable.
Happen, Dave.
I know it's not going to happen, but I just said it in canon, that's what happened. It's canon in the story of what we played. I can't remember the name at the moment.
I'm hoping... Have you ever seen the movie Scanners?
Scanners? No. Is it about a scanner?
Tried to blow his head up there, it didn't work. If anyone got that reference, 10 points to Gryffindor. Anyway, moving on, we find the tiny guest. She's a gnome. Now, originally, when she came out, she's got twigs in her hair. She's got a little furry creature. I see you smirking. I will throw coffee at you. I'm not sure which one, but I'll decide in a moment. So immediately I'm like, oh, it's clearly a druid. It sounds like gnome, twigs, little elven. Yeah, clearly a druid. And I was like sitting back, got that one figured out pretty quick. Rogue, Arcane Trickster, my favourite class, but very, very well played.
And the characterisation of Twiggy, gnome, so gnomes could be very, very old, but
yes,
the persona you kind of get is Twiggy is a very young character, kind of been locked away in a little kind of, was it a chest or she's been locked away for a while?
Basically in a hole. This actually leads quite early to the crazy Reddit theory, so I'll bring that out now.
Really? We're bringing it out already?
It's a weird time to bring it out, but it fits really well. So this is from...
And you actually sent it to me, so it will be on the screen.
Hey! 10 points to Slytherin. So essentially, how do I want to do this? Good name. You can tell he's a Critical Role fan right off the bat.
How do you want to do this?
With a lot of Bacardi, but I don't drink. Does anyone else think that Twiggy was actually an older gnome with a misfired feeble mind? It's a possibility, yeah.
I guess that she played it very well, so I guess that is possible.
Yeah.
So Sir Casson, or Cattigan, I can't remember the guy's name. He's the one that was keeping her locked away.
She was essentially a smuggler. She got on the ship, she wanted to get out of where she was. She's been kind of hiding, creating good berries, I think she said, and peeing in a corner, which, as you do.
Yeah, so it's surprising the Mighty Nein never came, they were on the ship for a while and it just never came up until...
To be fair, she is a rogue, so her stealth bonus was probably 7 plus 9 with a bit of proficiency.
Anyway, Twiggy has this little puzzle sphere.
Yeah, Matt kind of described it as a Rubik's Cube, a spherical Rubik's Cube, that kind of thing.
And they compare cubes because they got the dodecahedron, the Mighty Nein, so she gets the dodecahedron, gets all the trippy vibes and all that, and gets that little blessing.
And a lot of people in the chat and in Reddit were like, it looks actually like a second dodecahedron made by the same people. So there's another kind of not so crazy, I'd say, Reddit theory.
You know what it reminds me every time you use the dodecahedron? You know that meme that goes do 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 do, and it's got a head going through space all the time. I'm gonna put up a clip of my favourite one right now.
This may be something you've dreamt of.
No, I'll show a clip.
I don't believe there's a clip of this. I'm sure there's just a blank spot.
You're gonna have to let me put in the clip, so be quiet.
It was just a blank square. I didn't see a clip. I knew
it was a clip.
Lying. So Arcane Trickster. Now they basically very quickly go, you've got a sphere? Cool, here's the fragment of possibility that we have. This is what it does. Do you want to use it? And the chat's like, have you ever met a DM before with a guest player? This is going to end badly for the Mighty Nein.
Yeah. Anyway, they got the puzzle thing and they kind of start fiddling with it, which is always going to end up well.
Yeah. I think Caleb is the only one who's like, guys, can you stop rolling it along the floor? It's a powerful magical artifact, for fuck's sake. If I die because of you guys playing soccer with an ancient artifact,
it's kind of like, Eric from the series we watch, D&D Animated. He's the one that's pointing out how stupid and ridiculous the scenario is, and all the others are like,
I'm going to say that was nearly a coherent simile, and it tied in loosely to D&D. 10 points to Hufflepuff. Moving on.
It was D&D Animated.
We do reviews of that, and it's on YouTube if you want to check that out, but don't, because it's
they spend a lot of the first hour kind of bonding with Twiggy, and they kind of play, you could say, with the character of Twiggy and kind of learn what Twiggy is, the personality, and kind of just have fun with the new character in the party.
Jester loves getting along with Twiggy. She thinks she's adorable, and they kind of share secrets, and Jester teaches Twiggy how to draw a really good dick.
As you do. And Jester also talks about the Traveller to Twiggy, so it'd be cool if somehow Twiggy becomes a follower of the Traveller, and then we see Twiggy again.
Yeah, in fact, they try to pray to the Traveller, and nothing really comes of it, and she's like, don't worry, he'll talk to you eventually. But anyway, moving forward, we've got forward training Bo as the first mate. They changed the name of the ship to Ball Eater, so no one will recognise it. Sure, stands to reason. Yeah. The sphere, Caleb holds it for a bit and does some discovery shit on it. He finds it's pre-Calamity, so at least 800 years old.
They're very old.
That's got to be important, because we believe that the Calamity and the Divine Intervention stuff is going to be heavily themed here.
Because it's always dropped. It doesn't need to be dropped in certain starts, but Matt keeps on tying it in, so it feels like there's something here. And I'm probably going to involve the Traveller, I reckon, by this point. Yeah. It's going to somehow...
I still think Calamity 2 is coming. The next Divine War.
It feels like it's too gods. Yeah, we've had this discussion many times.
Rewind. Yeah. So essentially, they spend a lot of time going with the sphere. They find out it can produce coins, it can produce jade, like token, like little stones, which are worth several hundred gold pieces. And then they discover it can create a black kind of spherical hole. Black hole in the ship that follows the ship as well. Yeah. And this really intrigues them.
Yeah. So they decide to, of course, jump into it.
I feel like this is something that Vox Marketer would never do, but totally fitting with Mighty Nein.
So Twiggy and Knot are the first ones to kind of jump in, and they kind of get ropes around them and they get thrown in.
I mean, that could have gone so much worse than it did.
Yeah, but ultimately they all eventually kind of jump into this little black hole. Yeah. Conveniently, Yasha's left off.
Yeah.
Conveniently.
She's just doing other things, it's fine.
She's doing other things. But we should say congratulations to Ashley and...
Brian Brushwood.
Brushwood?
Wait, no, that's Boston. Yeah. Brian Brushwood is a magician.
Yeah, anyway.
Congratulations!
On your engagement. Even though you're never going to watch the show, I'd like to throw it out there.
Well, I'll just ask Matt Mercer, friend of the show, if you can just pass on our congratulations to her. We'd appreciate it. Thanks, Matt.
Never gonna have. Anyway, they all kind of go down to into this hole, and then they get transported to this chamber.
Yeah. So.
Do you consider
I'm trying to find where we're up to. They essentially come to a pocket dimension of some kind, or some material something beyond the material plane.
Yes. And they find some bodies there.
So Caleb, Mr. Clay's is speak with dead. Now this allows you 4 questions for what is usually very carefully selected questions before the spell ends and cannot be used on that person again.
Yes, and they kind of find out there's not really an easy way to escape the place.
Yeah, they find banners, different coloured banners. Yeah. I just like to say, because this ties in with my my whole judgment of the episode. Matt's encounters in this are so on point. There is this perfect level of danger, puzzle, combat, interesting terrain, interesting things that the creatures can do. And I think it just, to me, after watching his designed encounter after this, I was like, dude, that is the perfect encounter.
It kind of felt like everything went to plan for Matt. It feels like Matt had a plan in mind and it actually went with it. And this he would have treated this like a one-shot. Because you've got a character who's only going to be around for one session, you have to make it isolated, have a victory for, and a conclusion to this episode.
Hence why, because it ended with a combat, they had to finish it and let it be its own entity. That's why it was a 5.5 hour episode. Yeah. But very satisfying. And I actually jumped out of my chair twice, and I was glad no one was around, because I was punching the air and screaming, but we'll get to that. So essentially, through they come, they find a couple of pictures, they find this rune that says Halas, which turns out to be a name. They managed to discern it's a name.
We should also mention that Caleb makes the hut.
Leoman's tiny hut.
Yeah, it's because they're kind of resting because they've had a busy day. Yeah. Because remember, they've only just come out of the water.
So this is like supposed to be, if it wasn't a guest player, I would imagine a downtime episode.
Yeah. So they have a bit of a rest there as well.
Yeah. So they're wandering around. There's a map of the material planes. They kind of go and investigate that. There's a stained glass window in one of these rooms. Have I skipped ahead?
Yeah, a little bit.
So
there was a locked door, and they basically Twiggy managed to unlock it. Very useful. But the guest player is very useful. Like MVP.
Oh no question.
MVP. I think it's the first time we've given MVP to a guest character.
No, we gave it to Keg once. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. MVP Twiggy.
Yes, undeniably, and I'm sure all of you out there will agree as well.
And I like that Not got a little jealous.
A little bit.
Because it's like, can we kill it?
not talking to just like, she's sneaky and she can do stuff. I can't do a not, but she's sneaky, she's going to replace her. We should kill her.
Do you want to stand on that awkward moment? Or just a little bit?
Yeah,
okay.
A little hang.
Anyway,
so they find the stained glass window.
They go through the hallway, and that's where the stained glass. Is it that point?
Yeah. So I would love a picture of this because I don't know if it's in the Tal'Dorei campaign setting. I might check when I get home. But essentially, it's a map of the material planes.
Yeah.
They kind of examine it and they discover that there's a few differences. There's no divine gate. The divine gate, of course, Calamity was the kind of waypoint between.
So it's fair to say the map was probably created before.
Yeah, a pre-Calamity map. Again, 800 plus years old, ties in with the sphere itself, and kind of hints at the fact that Calamity is very important in the campaign and possibly the overarching story of it.
Yes, anyway, so there's a little ruby gem. Like, is it in the middle? I can't remember where they said it was.
No, it was like not connected to anything else. That's what Matt managed to point out. It didn't have connections to the other planes, i.e. there was no other way to
but it was on the map still,
yes,
right?
It was on the map,
It was on the map.
It wasn't tied to anything.
As they do, whenever you see a mysterious gem,
in
you
a
touch
pocket
it.
dimension surrounded by traps.
Yeah, Ford touches it, and then it kind of like breaks and then kind of real seals up.
And pulls him through and he's gone. And then Ford's like...
And then Matt will go, I'll be back with you.
Yeah,
Second
and then a couple of times Travis is like, is it me now? And it's like, not yet.
Nope. So the other kind of Mighty Nein's like, okay, we're not going to do that for a little bit.
For at least 30 seconds before we just all go.
And there's a lot of books there, so you obviously Caleb kind of does this book crazy thing, and there's a little bit of twitch and knot kind of shenanigans going around.
It's actually kind of a great example of how much freedom and possibility the material planes and the core books of D&D provide a DM. That means that you can completely change the rules, and he does that with like gravity and the creatures that are in there after this. It's really a fun way to just throw your players into your own mad, demented playground of like demonic small dwarven children eating the faces of the beautiful women from the...
Or bookcases attack you.
Or...
Yeah, bookcases attack you. Yeah, so there was a bookcase that attacked them in that chamber as well.
Yeah.
Swallowed Twiggy, or swallowed, and all this like slime and stuff got on her.
Yeah.
And that was a fun little encounter while Ford was gone still.
And then, basically the rest of them go and decide to touch this stained glass window. They all get pulled through
I think it goes Bo first, but because Jester was close enough to Bo, Jester got sucked in too.
Yeah.
Then Twiggy was like, why not? I'll do it too. And then Twiggy does it, and then Caleb kind of runs with them, and they all eventually kind of go through. I think Mr. Clay holds up a little bit though.
Yeah. So it was really cool, because basically what Matt does is he then kind of time jumps a little bit. So you see Ford coming through first. Now it's kind of flipped on its head. Instead of Ford being the one that's not there, he's the only one there and everyone else is coming. Great use of time as a DM. Again, one of the reasons is a magnificent encounter.
And now we get the most brilliant moment of Ford and his amazing improv skills, which we're going to cut to a clip to.
Alright, I'm going to drink some of my coffees.
The smell of unfamiliar sneak thieves finds us. The way is shut to you. I apologize. I seem to have stumbled into somewhere where I am not welcome. That you have. If you would simply point towards the exit, I would be most obliged.
And we're back!
Yeah, we're back.
In case anyone's wondering, this one is a caramel latte, and this one is a hazelnut latte.
No one cares. Anyway, so Ford tries to kind of negotiate with this young blue dragon.
Yeah, so we've got a young blue dragon. Now, some people initially thought it was an adult dragon, which is about a challenge rating 14 for a party of level 7. That's not going to happen, but no, it's a challenge rating 9, so not entirely infeasible for a party of 6 members, level 7. Not entirely impossible, but a lot of them are like, it's a dragon.
Let's hold the beer and watch what happens.
Hold my beer, says Ford.
Yes. So Ford kind of rolls a couple of nat ones.
Yeah.
Doesn't go very well for him. So basically this dragon has an arrangement for whoever...
Class.
looks after this chamber and basically feeds it until the dragon's really big enough to really turn on him.
Yeah, until he's an adult.
Now, it did feel like this character, Matt didn't intend for it to die.
Yeah.
Because at the end, he gets a little bit kind of, oh, you killed it kind of moment in his face.
Yeah.
Which I kind of felt like maybe he was intending to hold back because they could have learned something from this dragon. I mean, it's been there for so long, they could have learned so much about what's happening.
Seemingly pre-calamity, so very odd. Also, we find out right at the end that time moves differently. So this dragon could have been here, you know, because you spend like a day here in this time. It's like a week in the material plane.
Yeah, exactly. So he could have learned so much about what this whole thing was.
But essentially,
now that's gone.
Yeah, I reckon you might be right there. So essentially, we have Ford, whose approach is, "I'm terribly sorry. I seem to be in the wrong place. If y'all will allow me, I'm just going to be on my way."
Doesn't work.
He essentially stalls for time, knowing the rest of the party is coming.
No, he didn't know that.
We would hope so. And in the meta, he did.
In the meta, he did, yeah.
I'm terribly sorry.
And then Bo and Jester arrive, and then basically a battle breaks out between the dragon and the Mighty Nein.
So this is, in my opinion, the best combat that we've had in Season 2, and one of my favourites, even including Season 1.
And pretty much they get wrecked by the end of it.
So, the young adult blue dragon has a recharge breath weapon. So basically, I don't know what the hell this was when I first started DMing, but on the start of its turn, you roll a d6. On a 5 or a 6, it recharges and you can use it that turn.
Oh, shit.
So, like 2 out of 3 times, he can't use it because it is his powerhouse, fuck you all up, death
It
to...
did 55 damage to Bo in one go.
Which, funnily enough, is the exact average score that you can possibly get on that attack.
Oh.
Right in the middle.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of pointless information, but there you go.
Yeah, but once the rest of the team kind of found out how much damage that was, that's when they kind of realised, oh no. And then they said, Matt, how could you do this to us? And then the begging to the DM began.
But we actually had quite a diverse combat. We've got forward casting Blink and using that. Jester uses it too. Great spell. We've got Bo using a red gem that she's had with her since pretty much the start of the campaign to summon a red fire elemental at her control, which goes badly later on.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But, I mean, it's not a druid. It doesn't have that much control over it. Makes sense.
So when she disappears, which she does later on, the fire elemental goes rogue.
Yeah.
And sometimes attacks the dragon and sometimes attacks not.
Yeah, I mean, what elemental doesn't have any allegiances at the end of the day.
Twiggy tries to disguise herself as Halas and fails miserably in her deception roll.
Yeah. And yeah, basically they just get hurt a lot.
Jester does go to cast Polymorph on the dragon. Now this is a clever idea if you're going to cast like something like Expeditious Retreat and get the hell out of there, because until it takes damage, it's just a little creature and you're good.
I put Matt not happy.
No, you can see Matt going, you cast... when the dragon failed to save, he was like...
I don't think he intended the dragon to die. I honestly did. I think, but ultimately it kind of goes pretty south, and they kind of start to go, "Oh, we need to get out of here."
So this actually leads to one of my favourite quotes of the thing, where Taliesin is on fire. Clay
As he is.
stone melds to put it out, which I thought was a brilliant use of that spell.
Yeah.
He dives into the stone, comes back, and as he comes out, he screams, "We're running! It's bad!" Travis loses his shit because he thinks it's the funniest thing ever. But I'm going to make that a t-shirt. I've got 3 quotes from this episode that I've written down, and there's a place I found in town. I'm going to do like 7 t-shirts at a time after Christmas.
Just don't copyright it because we may get in trouble for it.
So we're running It's Bad. Twiggy is Lord, which is what I was screaming at the end of the episode, and not the bravest.
Not the bravest, yeah.
But essentially, what happens is they decide to run. Now, the dragon is badly beaten. I was looking at its hit points in the monster manual. It's only got about 154.
Yeah, but I mean...
152.
Matt didn't really give anything away until the really end when the most of the party had been gone.
Yeah.
Because this is just before the person who actually gets the how you want to do this gets the how you want to do this.
Yeah.
That he mentions the dragon's very, very, very badly damaged.
Yeah.
So basically, after I think Not was the last one to leave on the Mighty Nein.
Correct.
To the Banff out there, because Jester left and then Not was the last ones.
Yeah.
Twiggy was left behind. So Twiggy's last kind of action was to, I can't remember what attack she does.
So she was stealthing. She was coming out of stealth to fire her
because she got a nat 20.
Yeah, so she had an advantage because of the stealth.
Yeah.
When she rolled, the rest of the Mighty Nein's gone. She's stuck there. I don't want her to die because I love this character at this point. I'm screaming nat 20, and it hits. A nat 20.
Yeah.
She gets all her sneak attack damage doubled. She's got all
the
her
celebrations were going crazy. Matt, you could just see on his face going, really?
She does 30 points of damage in a single attack as a rogue at level 7 and gets the hat.
How you want to do this.
I leap out of my chair, punch I'm so glad no one was around, punch the air, I'm screaming, Twiggy is Lord! Twiggy is Lord!
Like a preacher.
Like a preacher, I was, yes.
And Twiggy, kills the blue dragon the first time I guessed it. Oh no, not the first time.
Matt kind of goes, there is a trend of guest players killing my
There's
NPCs.
a few guest players doing that, but it was a perfect moment for this guest player to sign it off. And Twiggy kind of has that moment of stealing maybe a tooth, but then you got the rogue elemental still going a little bit rogue. So it's just like, nah, let's finish this. Banth out as well. And explains to the team what happened, and I'm very surprised they kind of believe her. So, well, I mean, if you were like the last one to arrive, it's like, I totally killed that. I know you guys ran.
We can't go back,
totally
but no, I know, it was fine. It was good.
Totally did it.
I was like doing flips and shit. It was cool.
Yes.
We were talking about this before we started recording. We really hoped that no one would believe her, and she would just go on going, no, seriously.
It would fit in her character of kind of being this kind of over bubbly character, so optimistic that you kind of would believe anything she would say. Like, sure you did.
Yeah,
sure
it would have been like Caleb talking to Not. Or like Ford talking about the button beard. He's like, oh sure, that's very good. That's very good. But Clay incites her and says, God damn, you're right.
And they're so badly beaten. The Mighty Nein have just got bruises and blood everywhere. And once they get out, they realise they've actually, where they were travelling to that port, Bashit.
Yeah, basically the crew show up and they're like, you've been gone for a week, what the hell?
Yeah.
And they're like, we tried to figure out where you were, captain's, the dockmaster's not happy because we haven't paid them.
Yeah,
you got them
but the ship's repaired, it's all good to go. And Twiggy decides just to stay there because she's been on the run and been locked away for so long. This is the first time she's been free, so she wants to go explore.
Which is a nice kind of way for the parting. It gives a good feel to the one-shottiness of this episode. Yeah. And, oh man, what a journey.
It's a really good episode to show someone, to introduce them to one critical role, this campaign, and also D&D in general. I think it covered a lot of good bases. It was a solid solo independent episode.
It's a brilliant example of how to bring in a guest player, how to not overload the players with too much information about that guest player, just as much as they need, how to design a really unique combat, and how to run a one-shot that people will be talking about.
And the abilities and everything. So it was a fantastic episode. And props to Deborah, who did a fantastic job of being a guest in general. It's quite hard to go into an established campaign and really stand out. I realised my top of my beanie blends in with this wall and it's going to be annoying to edit.
It looks kind of like you're just dipping into the wall, like melded with stone.
Just realised. But anyway,
so, Deborah,
it was fantastic.
You nailed it. MVP for this week, obviously. If we had like awards made, like an MVP medal, you'd be wearing it. But we
one day should go through and see who's got the most MVPs.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
You want to do it?
I was going to say, let's paper, scissors, rock.
No, because I've edited all of them. You can watch them all.
Okay, but that's it. That is the wonderful, unbelievable one-shotty episode. My favourite combat of Campaign 2. And just one of my favourite combats and encounters for the whole thing.
Yeah, so if you're going to suggest Critical Role to anyone, or if you're trying to find an episode of this campaign to get someone into, which a lot of people have struggled with, this episode is perfect for it.
So, 45, write that down in your nerd notebooks. Now, we're going to do what we do every week, which is talk to you guys about some of your comments from the last week.
Because you commented a lot, and some of your comments are very long this week, so I can't read out all of them.
But I being that my life is devoid of meaning, did spend some time replying to you all, so thank you so much.
So if you do want your comment read on, make sure you leave a comment below in this video.
Yes.
We obviously will read it on the next video.
Yeah.
And we'll try and engage with you guys, because the more of a conversation you guys have, the more you teach us as well. Tell us what we're saying wrong, what we're saying right, what you guys agree with, what you don't. Kind of helps us all have a conversation about a show we like to watch.
And it makes me do what I love to do with this channel, which is just cyber hang out with you guys from all around the world.
Ooh, that's gross.
I'll change that. Just hang out with you guys.
Cyber hangout.
Cyber hangout sounds a little creepy, but no, it's a real cool conversing with you guys because you got really interesting opinions and lives, and I love you guys.
All right, here we go.
Yes.
This is from the C213. The C213.
The name was The Sea.
The C. Well, it's SII.
Okay, alright, cool. Okay. I thought it literally said The Sea.
Well, it's like we, I guess, with an S.
Tripping over. Just go.
C. Anyway, I like to see a limited, because last episode we talked about how Yasha's a little bit of a side character by this point.
Yeah.
What should we do with it?
Oh, great dialogue. Some of you guys, it was really cool talking
I like to see a limited Yasha side series to bring Ashley back into the fold. Or maybe a few one-shots, maybe. There are 3 or 4 episodes, either set in her past or one of her side adventures. It allows some time to flesh out the character, also allow Ashley to get time to get comfortable again. They could even get the regular cast as sort of a limited run new character. So the cast coming in and playing limited characters.
Yeah.
Of course, she has other time commitments, unfortunately. I completely agree with that. I think that'll be a really unique thing. And you may be able to just do that when she's back in town for a while. Just take her aside and do those one-shots and actually film the one-shots. Because you never really see a one-shot D&D thing.
Yeah. I would actually really love to see this is one of the ideas I had watching this, a one-shot of all the guest characters from Critical Role as a party.
That'll be
so you've got like Twiggy, Keg, you've got
what's his name? Yakashai.
Yeah, like all the like really memorable guest characters, one shot them as a party.
I really would like a one shot. With
Yasha.
DM as in Yasha.
Yeah.
I think Matt just being there and you're really seeing Ashley's improv skills as well. Because we don't actually know a lot of backstory other than she's a fallen. Was it Asima?
Yeah, it would be
but
really
if you
cool.
see the new intro, it's clear that she was in a battle or some kind of like there's bodies everywhere. So if you watch the intro of Critical Role, it gives you a little bit of insight, stuff that we should already know by this point.
So you're thinking like an entire 4-hour one shot with Yasha. So we actually get
maybe not 4 hours, but 2
I know what you mean, like 2 or 3 hours. So we actually get this story that we've been craving, that we haven't been able to have.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Matt Mercer, friend of the show. You're watching it, so I'm do it. It would be amazing.
All right. I'm pretty sure they'll get onto it just because you said it.
I'm sure.
Anyway,
if it happens, I will be calling that forever. So this is from someone we haven't really had comment too much before. So hey, nice to meet you, Luna. Not your business. I didn't ask what your last name was, so I feel it's kind of rude to tell me it's not my business. But you're called Luna, one of my favourite characters from Harry Potter, so points to you. This episode was one of my favourites. Matt really killed it with the atmosphere. 100% agree. He's nailing it lately. I have rewatched the second part of the episode a good few times. Fair enough. I adore the setting, me too. The reason they keep Yasha in is also because they will never know when Ashley will be able to jump in via Skype. Makes sense. It's hard to get to write the character in at short notice. Matt confirmed on Twitter that the Sea Hag was a homebrew called a Sea Fury. Awesome. Didn't know that. I wanted to know that. I just pressed a button and your comment disappeared. Now it's back. Okay, good. I'll continue without any kind of seam or transition. It's going to be flawless. Avantika didn't get the powers by absorbing the orb. She got them after the temple took the orb Avantika had in her hand. So the third orb was back in the temple they flooded. Right. I did not watch that correctly. Thank you for correcting me.
We do this a lot because we are trying to sum up an episode of 4 hours. And when you watch so much Critical Role, you're not going to pick up every single little thing. So some people pick up more things than we do. I think we've talked about it a few times. I haven't mentioned it for a while. I'm more focused on the story. You're more focused on the battle. And the combat. So I find I'm picking up more of the story sometimes and you pick up more of the battle stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why I have to kind of wind you back sometimes.
And hopefully sometimes we both pick up on things that like small things that other people don't notice and they can
And the complete opposite,
something.
there'll be things we neither of us pick up on.
This is true. And your last thing is, geez, Ollie, that wheezing really did not sound good. Hope you're doing alright. I had a really bad asthma attack on the last episode, but...
Yeah, but you wanted to keep going and I was just like, should we stop? And you're like, no, keep going. I'm like,
no, it's fine. Power through.
It was more painful for me because I had to balance between stopping and just...
I'm sure me dying was really hard for you, Dave.
No, then you lived and it made it worse. Anyway, this is from Joshua Mihan. Sorry if I mispronounced that, Josh. A common viewer of my show.
A common peasant.
I went irregular. It just came out common.
It came out common.
Whatever. I said, I mentioned Tudor Ollie was out at Dark Toe to report back in the field.
You basically inspired the bit for this week, thank you.
Exactly.
It's actually my favourite bit that
We're
we've
even
ever done.
thinking about making it even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
So stay
Thank
tuned
you,
to
that really was great.
Was dealing with an absent player... when dealing with an absent player, as a DM.
It's supposed to be DM. He's
Is it dim?
It would autocorrect.
As a DM and a player who has had to miss a session, I've handled it in the following way. All other players can continue and the absent character goes on a personal side quest.
Yeah.
They do not increase in level and can use catch-up rules from Adventurers League if they want to bump up the level. So I didn't know there was catch-up rules.
Yeah. Adventurers League has now become quite a widespread thing. If you get your DCI number and join in with Wizards of the Coast, you can essentially play the same characters in different games, run at local official stores all around the world. It's really quite cool, so check it out.
It's quite interesting how they do that.
Also, another thing about the leveling, basically rules in the DMG state for 5th Ed that only the people involved in the combat get the experience divvied up. Some DMs choose not to do that. because they feel it unbalances the party and they want everyone to level up at the same time. And I just realised my hair is getting more ridiculous throughout this episode, but some DMs will just level everyone up at the same time, so it's another personal choice.
Yeah, but Matt does milestone leveling, so it's a little bit different. But I mean, ultimately, as long as you're kind of progressing the story or the campaign as you want it to do, but if you've got a scenario that you don't know the ending or you're kind of going along with it, maybe the experienced one fits better, so you can kind of either chop it and they can still carry the character on.
And if you're a new DM and you want to use milestone leveling, I would still in a notebook keep track of what the XP would be, so you get a good idea of how long it kind of should, as like quotes, take for a player to level up.
And you don't overcook it.
Yeah, exactly. Basically. So that's us. That's us for NPCs of Wildemount, brought to you by an absurd amount of caffeine and sleep deprivation.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like us, because we've got some exciting things coming out in the new year.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of videos that were planned, and we're going to do a big video for you guys. And next week is their last episode for the year.
Yes, because, hey, it's Christmas. Oh, that reminds me. To all the wonderful people that support our channel, I hope you have the most wonderful holidays ever. If you're having a shit time out there for whatever reason, email me.
We could do this next year. Next week, but alright.
I've already started.
Yeah, you're already gone.
So if you are having a crap time this holidays or whatever, reach out to us on the d20multiverse@gmail.com. I will personally reply to each one of your emails.
But just don't ask for help, because we won't help you move in.
You never asked. That's us. But he's not wrong. There are some real cool stuff coming up. We're working on new shows, new ideas. So
be safe for the holidays. I know it's a very stressful time for everyone. And just make sure you look after yourself more than anything else. Self-care is so important. A lot of people forget that. If you don't look after yourself, how can you look after someone else?
And remember, the D20 Multiverse loves you. So from myself, Oliver Dungeon Master, and
Day,
we wish you a good morning, evening, afternoon, holidays, wherever you are in the world. Peace, love, harmony, nerds of power, fucker.
See, you just need to stick. You need to commit.
No, I'm still experimenting.
I know you
I'm
are.
adding peace, love, harmony though, because I like that.
Peace, love, harmony.
Peace, love, harmony.
And then fuck off.
I'm a happy at heart, but I'm also a bit of a dick. So it's like peace, love, harmony.
You're kind of taking my thing, because I'm nice, but I'm kind of a dick.
All right, I'll leave the. Would you like to do the fuck off?
I want to be the kind of a dick.
Okay, so peace, love, harmony. See, that was a good example.
Yeah, but I'm a dick.
I know, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck off. Ow. He's walking like an old man behind the camera.